This video is about creating an electrical systems drawing. It's part 2, creating device symbols. In part 1 we established a background from a CAD drawing. Now we're going to be creating some fire alarm symbols to use in this drawing. We start by zooming in a bit on this, and we'll make some basic shapes for the symbols. And start out with a circle, which we'll use for some of the initiating devices. And we're going to make a square, which we'll use also. Okay, now these symbols that we're going to use are NFPA 170 standard symbols, and one thing we're going to add to these is some connection points, which we'll be using later on. So we select the connection point tool, and then we'll be holding down the control key, selecting the circle in this case, holding down the control key, establishing a connection point in the center on the side, the other side, the top, and on the bottom. Now we'll be selecting the square, holding down the control key, and putting connection points in the center of all the sides. We'll get out of that tool, go to the select tool. Next thing we're going to do is create some special shapes here. We'll be doing a symbol for a fire alarm horn. To do that, I'm going to copy the square by just grabbing it, moving it over, then holding down the control key. Select a line and draw a line like this. Take it over here and back to the beginning. It's going to become our fire alarm horn. Now I'm going to select all of these shapes, and I'm going to give them no fill to make it easier to work with. Then we're going to be doing a symbol for a strobe, and we will start out with a strobe that will be inside a horn, and to do that I'm going to make a circle, and here I want to change my line size a bit. And now this will be the center of the strobe. And I'm going to select the horn and just temporarily change the size of that line to make this a little bit easier to work on. And I'm going to put some lines in here. Select my circle. Looks like this one's got some fill to it. And take this up and put it right in the center of my horn. And that will give me a horn strobe symbol. Select the inner part of this and change that line thickness a bit. Go up here to line weights, go to more line weights, and select a custom weight. Right now it's 0.24 points. I'm going to change that to 0.48. Double the thickness. outer part of that symbol and go to that standard line weight right there. Now I'm going to make another strobe symbol, and for that I'm going to select the components that I've already put in here. I'm going to remove the outer part and then drag this whole thing over and hold down the Control key to copy it. And then I'm going to use a symbol here which is designed to indicate a wall device. And again, I'm going to change the thickness on these lines. Okay, I have a square, a horn strobe combination, and I'm going to do a few initiating devices here. Take this circle, move it over, hold down the Control key to copy it, and I'm going to create a circle. This will be part of a symbol for a heat detector. Now this circle doesn't have any fill, it's actually just a line, it's a thick line, and that's going to affect the group behavior. So that's an important characteristic. Before I put that circle in there, I'm going to center this. Line it up with the grid. And add a line. And increase the thickness of that a bit. Alright, that'll give us a heat detector. And now I am going to do a smoke detector. This is a free-form line. And I'm going to make that kind of a thick one. And that will give us our symbol for a smoke detector. I'm going to add some text to these, in one particular case at least. And put a letter P here for a pull station. And I'm going to take that P and change my font size to 6 point. I'm going to make that bold. And then the text box, I'm going to shrink that down, grab it, and reduce the size of that. Now, you notice that the letter is off-center in the text box. I'm going to format that text block by reducing the top margin to 1 point and the other margins to 0. Centered that is right there. I'm going to bring that down and put it in the square, and I'm going to select both of those and I'm going to center them. Going to align shapes, selecting horizontal and vertical alignment. I'll be centering on that. Now the last step in this is I'm going to group each of these. So I'll select everything in there and go to shape, group. And that's it. They're all grouped. The next video we'll be getting into some details in terms of establishing layers in these devices, as well as data fields, which we'll use later on for reporting.